Next step, absorb and recall. Absorb and recall has 5 parts. 1. Skim. 2. Peruse. 3. Last read. 4. Research and link. 5. Fill in missing info. Before we begin to skim, we want to prepare our jot sheet. After we've prepared our jot sheet, we'll locate our reference material and begin to skim the pages. During our skim, we'll read at the rate of a speed reader of about 1,000 words per minute. And if you think 1,000 words per minute is too fast, then try this exercise. I'll give you 30 seconds to skim this online article. Ready, get set, go. All right, time's up, pencils down. Let's take a look at what we noticed. Here are a few things you might have noticed about the article. 1. The article is about spina bifida. 2. There are 3 types of spina bifida. 3. It typically happens in babies during pregnancy. If you can recall these 3 major points about the article, then you've just had a successful skim. After skimming, write down any information you can recall and ask questions if you have any. The next step after skimming is peruse. During our peruse, we want to slow our reading a little bit to catch the headlines and bold fonts that we may have missed during our skim. After perusing your reference material, jot down any additional information you may recall and any more questions that you may have. Part 3 of Absorb and Recall is our last read. During our last read, we want to slow down a bit more so we notice more subtitles and more detailed information. By this point, we should have a good grasp on the main topics, the titles, the headlines, and some of the subtopics within the text. Part 4, Research and Link. During Research and Link, we'll look through the notes on our jot sheet and begin to connect the information. If the notes on your jot sheet isn't giving you a general understanding of the subject, refer to the reference material or look to outside resources for additional information. Part 5, Fill in blanks. At this stage, we should fill in the remainder of our jot sheet with significant information. Now that we've gathered all the significant information about the subject, we want to begin to map out our overview. Okay, now before we begin our overview, we want to create a key. Our key will have all the symbols that we'll use throughout our overview. You want to make this key as custom to yourself as possible. My key has a symbol for main topics, subtopics, references, and additional information like that. I want to get to the meat of my notes as quickly as possible. So whatever works for you, create your key and keep it moving. Now for our overview, we want to use our creativity to create the patterns in our minds to help link these ideas. You're going to need to create those patterns inside your mind. So whatever colors, whatever fonts, whatever shapes you'll use to help make those connections in your minds, then do so. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how sloppy it is. Just use your creativity and process the knowledge. Okay, now we're ready to move on to our layout and formats. Now, to choose our layout and format, we really need to focus on the content of the subject. If that content has a lot of visuals, a lot of pictures, you might want to roll with maybe some different diagrams. If it has a lot of linear information, you might want to choose a Cornell method and do a little bit of color coding. Learn what format is suitable for what subject and then apply that. Here's one of my example overviews about spina bifida. Now, my overview may be a little difficult to understand for others, but I get it, and that's all that really matters. We'll turn that into visuals where we could quickly refer to and potentially use as a study guide for different subjects.
Once you have sorted out these areas of difficulty and finished your pattern notes, that particular study period is complete. You should review the patterns shortly after you have stopped studying, and remember, again at the end of a week and at increasing intervals. This will fix the information in your mind. During each further study period, you'll be making more patterns, adding where appropriate any bits and pieces of information you may come across from other sources. As these patterns develop, you will find your mind becoming increasingly more open to new associations and new material. Once you have a number of these pattern notes going, you can start sifting the information and building up a large master pattern, which will then become a reflection on paper of your overall grasp of the subject.
Okay, well, that's all for me. Thank you. I hope you learned something from this video. Please try this method out. Try it, test its efficiency, and give me some feedback. I'll post some of my contact information at the end of the video, so however you feel about it, good or bad, I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. So thank you and be well.